With the 60th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Cole Bishop, DB, Utah.
We want to welcome Utah safety Cole Bishop to the Buffalo Bills. The Bills go offense with their first pick and defense with their second. Welcome into our instant draft reaction alongside of Chris Brown. I'm Maddy Glab. And who are the Bills getting in this defensive pick? Well, we're so excited to tell you about him. Bishop is 6'2", 206 pounds. He was second team All Pac-12 in 2023. He has a high motor with the way he covers a lot of ground. He's a versatile safety. You can line him up at the line of scrimmage as a blitzer and he will get you sacks. He has a high football IQ that shows with his vision on the field. He can read, react, and get after the football. He had 7.5 sacks and 3 interceptions in his career. Chris, what separates him from the rest of the safeties in this draft class?
Yeah, I think his size is an attractive quality for sure. You know, as you mentioned, 6'2", 206. Played near the line of scrimmage. He played the star position in Utah's hybrid system. And he's a heady player whose assignment sound. He's the guy, if you watch the tape, he's the one gesturing to his teammates, hey, watch this alignment, look at this formation, motion, motion, motion. So he kind of ran a lot of the pre-snap calls for this defense. That's an attractive quality for a coaching staff. Oh, here's a guy that can handle assignments, can run a defense, that kind of thing. So I think that's an attractive quality in his arsenal. And just to show you how much he was used up on the line of scrimmage, both as a run blitzer and a pass blitzer, he had 21.5 tackles for loss in his career as a 3-year starter. He's always around the ball. He breaks up passes, but he's not a ball hawk. He's only got 3 interceptions in 36 career games. So I think that's something that you have to look at, and because you never really saw him play in the deep half or play single safety high, you don't know if he's capable of doing that. So because it's just not on tape. Maybe he can, but there's no evidence of it. So I think for now, he's more in the Taylor Rapp mold, near the line of scrimmage, in the box, he can cover tight ends. And I think he can handle coverage assignments in the intermediate areas. But the speed receivers in the slot or the go receivers on the outside, can he get over the top and help a cornerback? I don't know, because we really didn't see him execute in those kinds of roles.
You spoke about how he can cover tight ends. Well, he played with current Bills tight end Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid played at Utah. They overlapped for a couple of seasons, and Cole Bishop says, I credit Dalton Kincaid for teaching me how to cover tight ends because I had to do it every single day. I went up against Kincaid every single day, and he made me be an elite player at covering tight ends.
Yeah, if there's only one knock on him, it's that he is a New England Patriots fan. And that's because he was born in Boston, Massachusetts, and then his family moved to Georgia when he was a little kid. But I guess his dad was a Patriots fan, so can't blame him for that. He was indoctrinated by family lineage more than anything else. He's a Bills fan now, so he doesn't have a choice. But it's going to be interesting to see where they line him up, you know, when we get to OTAs and minicamp. I tend to think he's going to be like a Taylor Rapp backup, you know, at the quote-unquote strong safety position, more than playing the free safety spot, which we anticipate free agent Mike Edwards to be manning in a starting capacity anyway.
So if you believe he'll be projected as a Taylor Rapp backup right now, why do you think this was a good spot for the Bills to pick this safety in the second round?
Yeah, they need depth there. I think we knew that coming into the draft. A lot of people were concerned because, yes, you have DeMar Hamlin. Yes, you have Cam Lewis. These are guys that have been on the roster. They know the defense. But beyond those two, you really don't have anything else. And I think you need youth in the pipeline here. We have to remember Mike Edwards is only here on a 1-year contract. So I think looking at it, they said, here's a safety that has proven he can play near the line of scrimmage. He's a hard hitter. He can handle coverage assignments in the intermediate areas. It's a player they clearly liked. So I think youth in the pipeline, and you put him on special teams because he is much better going forward and is a proven player going forward, coming downhill and making tackles than he is going in reverse. Again, just because we haven't seen enough of it in his college tape because he wasn't asked to do it.
He played on special teams in college as well. He ran a 4.45 40, so he's got some speed and quickness to him. How do you see that play out with the way he plays safety?
Well, plant and drive, reacting to a play. He's got click and close kind of quickness. So when he anticipates plays pretty well too. So when he sees it, he puts his foot in the ground and he goes. I mean, his 10-yard split was 1.53. That's really fast. So that's just an indication of his explosion ability. And he can jump out of the gym. He vertical leaped 39 inches. He tested very well at the combine. Early on in the pre-draft period, I think he was thought of more as a borderline third, fourth round pick, and I think his testing really moved him up the board. He gets all the way into the bottom of the second round here after he tested out of the gym in Indy. He really had a good day at the combine.
All right, Cole Bishop is addressing the media right now, so let's meet the newest member of the Buffalo Bills.
All right, tell us a little bit about the history you have with meeting with the Bills, the process leading up to this night with them particularly.
Yeah, started talking to them the first time at the Senior Bowl and everything. I got to meet with them a couple of times into the combine. Obviously, you meet with a good bit of teams, and then, having a couple Zooms throughout the process. I was, with my guy Dalton out there, I was always hoping that, that would be a possibility. So super awesome when I got that call.
I'm glad you brought that up. Have you been in contact with Dalton either before this or after this? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, me and him talk a good bit. Obviously talking, him wishing me luck and everything. I think he texted me, but, it's kind of a little hectic right after you get the call, trying to figure out everything. So, I'm excited to talk to him over the next couple of days. Just got to get out there and see him again. It's been a while, but yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, Cole. Alex Brasky with the Batavia Daily News. Welcome to Buffalo.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You step into a situation where the Bills are looking to replace two veteran safeties, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. How much are you looking forward to that challenge, stepping in and potentially filling one of the roles left behind by those two players?
I'm super excited. I mean, two great players, like you said. I watched, I haven't studied them or anything, but, just watching them on TV and everything, obviously great players. So, I'm going to come in. First thing I got to do is learn the playbook and then just try to add as much value as I can, and just try to be the best I can be every day.
And during your pre-draft visits with the Bills or conversations, what makes you feel like you're a good fit for this defense?
Man, I feel like we had a good bond. Some teams, like, you can kind of just tell there's not a fit. Some teams just don't seem as interested. Some teams you're not as interested into. Buffalo was always a team that I liked. And then, it seemed like they were interested in me, obviously. So being able to talk to them a good bit, their defensive schemes, they let their safeties do a lot. I think my versatility is something that, kind of separates me. So being able to go to a team that you're able to be versatile is huge. So I think I'm going to be able to excel as best as I can.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Cole, Catherine Fitzgerald with the Buffalo News. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You just mentioned your versatility. Can you tell us a little more about what you think stands out about your skill set?
Yeah. So, at Utah this past year, I was playing some free, some strong. I was in the box, out as the overhang as the nickel at times. So being able to do a lot, I think I can do a lot of those different things well, covering tight ends, being able to cover Dalton Kincaid every day. My first 2 years definitely helps you get better at covering tight ends, as he's one of the better route runners out there. So he was super helpful in my growth. And I think, hopefully be able to add a lot of value.
The Bills really value versatility too. How much did they talk to you about, what they were seeing in you from that standpoint?
Yeah, a good bit. In those Zooms and everything, there's times where you'll be shown some of your plays and then you'll have to, draw some stuff up. And, it's nice being able to have a lot of different things on film. So you're able to show me certain times playing free or strong or, in the box. So it was a big focus point, I'd say.
And then I know you and Dalton will be on different sides of the ball, obviously, but what did he tell you just about kind of like the franchise, the city, the organization that made you excited?
Yeah, he loves it out there. Fan base is awesome. Obviously, Bills Mafia is something unlike any other. He's nothing but good things to say. So as soon as I saw that New York phone number, I was super excited.
What was just getting the call like who was around you? What was your day like?
Yeah, my friends and family, so a bunch of my buddies that I grew up with, and then my parents, brother, grandparents, all those people. So being able to spend this moment with them is awesome. I'm excited to get back out there. They're waiting for me, but I'm excited to get back out there and celebrate with them. So everyone's pretty pumped up.
Awesome. Thanks, Cole.
Yes, thank you.
Cole Bishop, Mookie Hawkins, Buffalo Sports 1080. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
When did you really kind of get a pulse on that the Bills was the landing spot?
Man, I mean, you have an idea before the draft of what teams potentially like safeties, what teams you talk to the most, and what teams like you or say they like you. But you can only take that so much. There are certain teams share more information than others. So, we had an idea that they wanted a safety. My agent, he really liked the idea of me going to Buffalo, and he thought that was a good possibility. And I believed it as well. My defensive coordinator talked to him a good bit. So, once pick 6, he was getting closer. My phone was ready. I was waiting. So once that phone call came through, it was awesome.
Absolutely. And I know that you are interchangeable, very versatile, but what is your biggest skill set that you hang your hat on defensively?
Yeah. Being relentless. Our culture at Utah was called relentless, smart, nasty ball hawk. So being able to embody that as much as I can. Obviously your skill set and different things, like I think I'm really good at covering tight ends and man-to-man, but I don't think that's what really separates me. I think my relentlessness, always pursuing the ball, whether that's trying to make a tackle, trying to get it out of the air, just things like that, just trying to be relentless.
Absolutely, man. Congrats and see you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Cole, congratulations. Just had one for you. You mentioned your versatility and what you could potentially play in this defense. The Bills obviously switched things up a little bit last year, went with more of a dime look a lot. When you were talking to them about, the playbook and getting on the whiteboard with them, how much did that come up in terms of the shift to that style in their defense and how you can maybe fit into one of those 3 different roles?
Yeah, not too much. A lot of that times they're kind of trying to see what rather than talk to you about what they're going to do with you. At the end, sometimes you talk about it briefly, but a lot of it's, if you're watching my film, what's going on in this play? What were you doing? Or they might install a coverage to you and, you try to regurgitate it back to them. So not a ton. I'm excited to see, what they have in store for me. Like I said, I'm excited to learn the playbook and see, where I'm going to fit, but I don't have a huge idea yet. But wherever I end up, wherever I'm playing, I'm just going to try to add as much value as possible.
I know you like to do a little bit of everything, but what's your favorite part of the game? Do you like being near the line of scrimmage? Do you like being in coverage? What would you say is your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is kind of doing a little bit of everything. If you're, it sounds like obviously that's what I would say, but when you're only in the box, you're not able to help out as much in coverage. If you're only in coverage, you can't show up as much in the run game. So being able to kind of do a little bit of everything, I think kind of helps safeties play the best that they can.
Awesome. Thanks, Cole. Congrats.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Cole, congrats, as everyone said. I was curious, you mentioned that you got a good feel from the Bills and it kind of stood out that the vibe was there and that kind of thing. Is there anything what was that? Was it just good conversations? What exactly was oh, this could be a good fit?
Yeah, I'd just say good conversation to an extent. Like I talked about, you can Google what teams are going to need safeties, So before I met with them at all, I knew that they were potentially going to need safeties and everything. Dalton played at Utah. He knows the culture at Utah. He said the Bills have a great culture there. So that's something I was obviously super interested in because I think that's huge for teams. And then just after meeting them, conversations went well,
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Cole, Sal Capaccio here again. One more question. Sorry. What about special teams? Can you give us an idea of, what you played on special teams and, your role in the NFL, maybe as a special teams player?
Yeah, played special teams my whole career at Utah. Freshman year, I pretty much played everything until I got, to be a starter. And then sophomore year, played a little bit of punt return, played a little bit of punt. And then this past year, I started on punt every game. So I've played special teams. That's something at Utah we took very serious. That's something I take pride in. So trying to, like I talked about, adding value, and that's not just on defense. Trying to add as much value as you can is something I'm going to try to focus on.
That's all the questions for today, Cole. Congratulations again and welcome to Buffalo.
All right. Thank you, guys.
That's newest Bills safety Cole Bishop, and he said what separates him is being relentless. Chris, I want to talk about the players that he's going to go up against, offensive weapons. You think about the AFC, you think about the AFC East, the speed that lives in the AFC, the playmakers that live in the AFC. Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy is a speedster who just got drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs. Cole Bishop ran a 4.45 40. What is it about his makeup, the way he plays, that fits with what he's going to play against?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a speed-size combination. And like I said, he can cover tight ends in the intermediate areas or down the seam. He's got the ability to do that. It's the shifty, shaky players that I think they're going to use other people to cover, like a Taron Johnson or somebody else inside. So I think he can handle some coverage assignments. I don't know that he can handle all coverage assignments, and that's fine. He's not unique in that way. There are a lot of players that have certain limitations to their game, but I think this is a kid that has good natural instincts, anticipates plays well, has leadership potential in the future, and as you just heard him say, he has a boatload of special teams experience walking in the door. So I think he's a guy that is going to have a jersey on game days as a rookie. I just think most of it is going to be on teams to start. But, if he has a great training camp and a fantastic preseason, maybe he pushes the veteran players like Rapp and Edwards. We'll see.
When you look at the Bills' defense, when you look at needs, what else remains for them? They have one pick remaining in the third round, number 95 at this point, unless something happens. Where do the needs lie within the defense and the offense?
Yeah, I think they're looking for depth now. You can argue for depth at defensive line, at edge or defensive tackle. I think you can make an argument for corner depth. And I think as far as offense goes, you're looking for offensive line depth here. You know that one of your depth players on the offensive line, David Edwards, has now moved into a starting role at left guard, at least in pencil right now, knowing that Connor McGovern has moved to center. So you have to refortify the depth behind that starting five. And so I think they're going to look at some offensive linemen in the coming rounds, probably some corner depth. And I wouldn't rule out linebacker. I think that's a sneaky need, knowing that you have 4 on the roster that were on the roster last year, and Milano coming back from injury being one of those. So there's some depth areas that you can go, and nothing pressing, though, like here's a glaring hole, oh my God, we got to fill it. I think that's gone now with the drafting of a receiver. So there you could get depth at all 3 levels of the defense, and I think offensive line is where you're probably looking for some depth as well. And then after you do that, you're probably dipping your toe in the receiver waters again on day 3.
I was going to ask you, are you going back to the wide receiver pool? Does depth still live at wide receiver at this point in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have to remember, yes, you added Curtis Samuel, yes, you added Mac Hollins, but you subtracted Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. So if there is a value there that makes sense for you and you think can augment what you have at the receiver position from a playmaking perspective, because, look, I think we all like the potential of a Keon Coleman, but the one thing he's not is a field stretcher. So I think if they look for another receiver, whether it's coming up in round 3 or if it's on day 3 when they have those 4 fifth-round picks and can pick just about every position under the sun, I think they're going to be looking for a field stretcher, somebody who's fast on the watch and can run down the field and really force a defense to cover the deep parts of the field, which will make James Cook and Ty Johnson's life a lot easier in the run game with light boxes.
A field stretcher opens things up for an offense. It'll be interesting to see if that's available for the Bills in the 3rd round and beyond, and if they choose to go there. The first pick for the Bills was wide receiver Keon Coleman out of Florida State, and then they go defense next, Utah safety Cole Bishop. We'll see who the 3rd pick is. At number 95, we will be live right after the Bills make their pick, so come right back here, and we want to remind you that you can tune in to rounds 4 through 7 of the NFL Draft tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern on NFL Network, ABC, and ESPN.